With the rise of AI chatbots doing your learning for you, corporations collecting data on you constantly, and deepfakes so realistic that you can't even tell what's real and fake anymore, being educated matters more than anything. At this point, being educated and able to think for yourself is basically an act of rebellion against these corporations that are trying to manipulate you into consumerism and keep you mindless, or a rebellion against brain rot that is trying to shrink your attention span, memory, and focus every single time you scroll, and strip months out of your life without you even complaining about it. And being educated and able to think for yourself is almost like a novelty. Like, it's so hard to find people who actually know how to write. It's not about being the smartest person in the room or making the most money in your family. If you need to consider those things as reasons, be my guest. Being educated in this generation is about knowing yourself and maintaining control of yourself and over your mind as well. Since everything and everyone seems so bent on turning you into another number that they can write off on their profits for the year. With the rise of AI and short form content, people are losing the ability to read and write. Genuinely, kids are becoming less and less able to do basic reading and get through full books because their attention spans are so short due to things like short form content, brain rot, and AI giving them summaries left and right. In the book Fahrenheit 51, books are banned, but not entirely by the government. They're actually banned because the public didn't want books anymore. The public had reducing attention spans and preferred mindless entertainment over sitting through books, which turned into burning books entirely. Does that sound a little bit familiar? It's getting to the point where literal dystopian novels are sounding just like real life. Additionally, corporations don't see us as people. They see us as consumers. When you factor in how limited our decision making is becoming and the data that these corporations are collecting on us to find the perfect products to make for us and the perfect algorithms to convince us to be the perfect consumers to make sure that they make the most profit that they can, the less time that we will actually get off of our phones and live in the real life outside of consumerism. Not only will you be more than a number on a spreadsheet, but you will also just feel more fulfilled and have more control over your finances and decision making. An example of this, which I've talked about on my channel before, is Labubus. Consumer demand for this was so high that one Labubu factory, would produce 182,000 Labubus a day in the peak of their popularity. Their annual amount was projected to reach 54.6 million units in 2025. Meanwhile, the workers at these factories are making no more than $4 an hour, often working unpaid overtime as well. And as of recently, when was the last time you heard about a Labubu? It's hardly a trend anymore, and people are slowly throwing away their Labubus. They're being seen in thrift stores, people are tucking them away in their closets. I haven't seen one on a backpack or a bag in so long. It was a total waste of money, plastic, and hype, not just causing people to mindlessly throw away money, something that had no value, but also making the environment worse and feeding into unethical working conditions. And for what? For a Labubu? No one cares about those anymore. And if you wanted a cute keychain, there's so many small businesses that make you keychains. And even if you don't go for a small business, there's so many better places to get keychains. I make keychains for myself. I've made keychains for my friends as birthday gifts. For you to get to the point where you think that a Labubu is a good investment of your money, you are already a victim. There's just no value in a Labubu. It's meaningless. So how can we fix this? How can we stay educated and make sure that we don't fall victim for these cognitive and consumer traps that are set up for us? Firstly, limit your use of AI. It is the first step in order to gain back decision-making, idea creation, writing, and reading skills. If you're as serious about this as me, I would suggest doing a reading or writing challenge every day, or maybe not a challenge, but just like reading or writing a little bit every day outside of your comfort zone. Like, don't read Instagram posts, like read an actual book, and don't write like an email, write like something that requires creativity and idea creation. You won't regret it, and it will really help build your skill. Secondly, limit your social media consumption. Don't engage in consumeristic trends or things that you don't actually care about. Take time to engage in long-form content, whether that's things like books or shows or YouTube videos. Something that isn't rotting your brain. Even though YouTube videos are not necessarily the best use of your time, it's better than mindlessly scrolling. Take time to form real opinions and actually educate yourself. Take the time to focus on increasing your focus and increasing your memory as well. I personally noticed that because I'm constantly on social media, like scrolling to new ideas without finishing the last thought, or my train of thought is getting interrupted by a notification, or just checking my messages all the time, my train of thought tends to be harder to maintain. Like, I'll be writing a sentence and I'll forget halfway what I'm writing about. I always find myself scrambling over what I was going to say, which is showing how bad technology is on our attention span and our focus. I can't even have a full train of thought anymore, and I considered myself to be one of the ones that was better with things like AI and short form content, so I can't imagine how it must be for other people. And my last piece of advice would be to obviously educate yourself. Read books. Yes, entire books. Watch video essays. Be aware about current events. Know the consequences of your actions, like buying a Labubu, and just be educated. You do not have to be a Harvard graduate to be educated. Just be mindful of your consumption and aware that what you consume does have a greater impact on the world. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope you have an amazing day. Remember to always be kind and keep on educating yourself and loving yourself. I love you so much. Bye!